Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I can hardly contain myself with the joy of finally finding a win in the Mandela Effect. That's right, an actual win. This time something went to the good. Unless you've been living under a rock for like the past, 6 months or 8 months, you haven't had a chance to avoid the Mandela Effect. This is something that has just creeped into our consciousness, and the things that we remembered, the way we remembered them when we were young, it's no longer that way anymore. So many things have changed in movies and logos, in people who died and when we thought they died. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely crazy. So just as a brief history, I'm just going to tell you a quick bit about that, but then we're going to jump into this amazing, awesome find that I found on the Mandela Effect, and this time it goes our way. It's a win-win situation. Nobody can go wrong with this. This is just the greatest thing I've ever literally found on the internet, and I've been in IT and worked on the internet for over 20 years and enjoyed it for longer than that. So anyway, the Mandela Effect goes something like this. It's basically based on the theory that Nelson Mandela died in his jail cell while he was in prison back in the 90s, and a lot of people remember it that way. A lot of people remember him always being alive and then getting out of prison and going on to become the leader of South Africa politically for a long time before he actually did die. Anyway, that's the theory. A lot of people based it off of that. Now, all of us can remember someone who we thought was dead, an actor or someone like that, and they said, oh, they're in this new movie, and you're like, how is he in that new movie? I thought he died like 3 years ago. It happened with me, with Gary Coleman, long before he died. I thought he died a long time before he did actually die. There's just been many things that have happened. The Volvo design is a great one, having the arrow, not versus everyone remember it being just a regular zero, not having the arrow. The Ford symbol or logo always having that little curly Q since like 1906. No one remembers that. Everyone remembers just this like a straight Ford type of thing. There's just been numerous things with the Mandela Effect, that you can name. Sally Field versus Sally Fields, what she said at her memorable acceptance speech, you like me, really like me, versus you like me right now, you like me, which is crazy to me. I could go on all day recounting Mandela Effect. If you don't know about the Mandela Effect, then definitely check it out, because it's something that'll consume your interest, and I think that you'll really enjoy reading about, because you'll find the things that you remember different. And like mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That's what I remember always. The Wicked Witch in Snow White always said mirror on the wall. Now it's magic mirror on the wall, and you can go back and look at the old videos, and there it is, magic mirror on the wall. But yet everybody remembers mirror. I mean, you can Google it and you can still find mirror. So it's the craziest. It's a really strange phenomenon that's going on right now, and it's interesting just for you as a person, if you go out there and maybe take a little time to read or watch some of these videos, because the Mandela Effect really is very personal, and you'll remember some things one way, and a relative will remember some things a different way, but you'll remember a lot of things the same way. So it's kind of crazy how it works. But and of course, it could just all be a trick of our minds as well. Maybe things have always been one way, and they can convince us that if just by suggesting that they were a different way, maybe other people's minds, our creativity takes over and says, no, it was always this way. So who knows what it really is. But finally, for one time, we find something that is truly groundbreaking, and I believe is the coolest thing I've ever found on the internet in 20 plus years. It is a brand new Beatles album that has never been released. There is this guy, and I just found this story on the internet, and it sounds crazy to me, but this is how I found it. I've listened to the Beatles album, I've downloaded it, It's the craziest thing. It's awesome. I think it's as good as any other Beatles album, better than some. Certainly not as good as the best, but it's actually a good Beatles album. I listened to the whole album twice already, and it's really, really good. So not only are you going to be able to listen to some of it here, we're going to talk about what the guy, how we got a hold of it, what the situation was, the story itself. We're going to listen to some of it, and I'm going to tell you where you can download every song on it. There's 11 songs, so you can download them all right here from a website link I'm about to give you. And then on top of that, you can even get a copy for CD that you can listen to in your car or truck or something if you don't have the ability to plug in like a player or something. So anyway, the coolest thing ever. Alright, so this is like a really long story. So basically this guy, and he wants us to call him James Richards for right now because he feels that his real identity needs to remain anonymous for the moment for whatever reasons. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If I had control of this tape, I would definitely not worry about my identity. But anyway, he says his name is James Richards, and he's of course that's a pseudonym, or that's a name he has taken on, a nom de guerre, or some type of thing. So he is going to be called James Richards, and he has come into possession of a cassette tape of a Beatles album that was released after their final album. He claims to have fallen into an area with someone who is from another dimension, who is an interdimensional dealer of sorts, and he claims to have had a conversation with this man, and during the conversation the man pulled out a cassette of one of the Beatles albums that in his dimension was beyond the point where the Beatles broke up. In his dimension, the Beatles did not break up, and in fact remained together as a band, and were still playing music to this day. So he runs into this guy. He, while he's talking to him, happens to mention the Beatles. The guy's like, "Yeah, I like the Beatles too." The guy pulls out a cassette or a audio device and starts playing the song. This guy has a cassette tape there. He records the cassette tape of the Beatles album, the whole album, 11 songs, and the quality is actually really decent. It's not bad. You can kind of hear the guys talking a little bit in the background on some of them, and I think that it detracts from it a little bit, and the whole thing is overall I would give it like a 90% plus on the quality of the audio of the tracks themselves, but there is a little bit in the background where you can hear them talking, and I don't know if that adds to the credibility of it, or I mean, obviously one has to say this is obviously faked, I mean, but once you listen to the songs, there's really not a whole lot of question whether that's the Beatles or not. So regardless of where this comes from, this is a Beatles album, and it's totally awesome. It's totally cool, and you're going to be able to hear it in its entirety. Okay, let's listen to a few selections from it right now, and again, I don't want to play all 11 songs right here on this video because it would take forever, but I do want to give you a good smattering of what's on here and the quality of it. It's just awesome and impressive. You guys can go download this for free at the links provided below. Just go down there, download it. It's totally out there for free. I came across it. I think it's the coolest thing ever. For the Mandela Effect, I think it's finally given us something back as far as the things that it's taken from us and the things that we feel we remembered. Finally we get a win on it, and a new Beatles album, and regardless of where it actually came from, is a huge win, believe me. Again, I've listened to it twice, and I think it's as good as any Beatles album out there, just about, well, with the exception of your top albums, but I mean, it's just as good as almost any Beatles album out there, and I think you're gonna like it. So.
And now back to your local station.
And with that, we're gonna wrap up I'm still so excited. With that, we're gonna wrap up the end of this edition of Planet X, Planet Nibiru, PlanetXApproaches.com. This has been absolutely the most fun episode I've done as of yet, and I hope that if the Mandela Effect continues to be in effect, that it does continue to give us awesome things like this in return, because this feels like a little bit of yin for the yang. There hasn't really been any balance in the Mandela Effect, and finally I think we found a little bit of balance there to where, at least we're getting something back from the universe with, after all this weirdness, hey, we get a free Beatles album out of it, so, it can't be all that bad. Anyway, go download these songs, check them out. They're awesome. Put them out wherever you want. It's totally free. I've run across it from this guy free, so, I just want the world to know that it's there because it's great music and everyone should enjoy it. So, with that, have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.